Hello and welcome to another stream, and today I am back with my jinx and isha piece that I was doing ages ago. How long has it been? I don't know. Been a while. Max. Has been a while. Hi. But yes, so we're going to go back into this, and I was in the midst of sorting out isha, just like the base colours, I think. So as you can see, I've been going out of the lights, just trying to get everything in there. Looks like I've got most of the spiral pattern in there. Don't want to go. Just wondering about this colour. Golden on here, doesn't it? You know, we'll stick with it. Stick with it. Alright, so we've got the vest on the top, hat, the rising bits. Apparently, I've got that there. I don't know why that's there. Arm sleeve thing. We've got over here, hair, and then so they've got the main hair, and then just the brown, and then they got the dyed over top. Cool. I think it looks like got that in there. The little, not the trousers, but this little kind of waist thing here. And I believe those two are just empty. Right. And that can be done. That can be under layer. Pull that out of that. Yep. No longer in the group. Yeah. So I should be able to just select this underlayer actually. I think that's the underlay for everything. Yep. It's fine. It is fine. Let's go back to the skin because we're gonna go start erasing the G pen. It's the G pen that is, yeah. Ink 3 G pen. Send jinx off. And the underlayer. Oh dear. Right, let's just call a pick. The skin. And then we'll just delete everything that's not the skin. There we go. Job's good. Do that. Eyes are too far apart. Go back to the line art. And go. Is that just the line art for Isha? It is. Isha line art. Also duplicate. I'll get this. No, I'm just gonna move it. And if we go down to the base colors. It's just everything up facing it. Alright. Select all this. I'll just get this. Delete that one. And we'll move this one. Where's the outline at? Should have duplicated this as well, but so I don't know what to do. Taking off all the line out. It's fine. Go to hair. Fact. Sure. Yeah. Duplicate both. Merge both. Right, these ones. Select all of this one. Wait, what? Merge those two. And then we can select this one. Oh, do I just want to? Face again. Right. It appears to be coming along nicer. Got a guest. Hello, kitty. You're here to pester. Not today. No, cat. No. No, I'm already. There's a skin turn again. Yeah, can't do stuff with you there. That might be part of the hat there, actually. Don't do it, cat. You won't. Yeah, beautiful keyboard. I start drawing on the wrong layer now, do I? I'll do. There's the line art again. Line art. This is the copy. Copy. Now I'm just going to get rid of all this. Trying to draw with a cat on the desk. Challenge accepted. Oh, there, cat. No. Actually, I need to go back to the here. Is here, and I'll just go. There. Drawing on the wrong layer again. There we go. Yes, kitty. Let's see again. Yeah, you're gonna have to get down at some point. Yeah, let's see again. Get my hand closer, and she just takes it. Oh, look at this. It's kind of short on that side now as well, isn't it? We're about done, cat. Time to say goodbye, kitty. Come on. There you go. Not today. Get this. Not sure if I'm making this better or worse. I think it might be a little too low down. Might be the reason why the nose isn't working for me. No, I'll keep it like that. I think. Can't keep changing it. And hello, Fireball. I'm good. Let me see if I can. No. Oh, good. Where I'm putting my chat on screen. It's visible. More visible, should I say? Whoa. As you can see, I'm just working on this. Now I've got all the flats down, I can just push and pull. One thing I need to double check is the hand. How's everything been going, Firewall? How's the art progressing? Don't need you on. Yeah, well, that I drew is actually from a reference that I took. But come on, there we go. So I literally just went and got my hand, put it like this, just like, okay, is that kind of how I want it? And then just took that photo. And then from that photo I went and just traced it and then tried to replicate it from the skit after that. So obviously the one in here I've drawn, not traced, but I've traced it just so that I got a feel for it as well. Yep. And that is true. It's like, well, one of the things that I found from watching other people is they mentioned, like, don't take still photos. Never take still photos. If you want dynamic shots, take videos and pause the video, because then you are going to get the dynamic shot that you're wanting. If you look at some photos, you'll see that they're all static, even though they're meant to be like an action pose. It's because it's a still. It's like they're just literally set up. There's no actual movement involved. Yeah. This is going to take me a minute. I think. Exactly. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do to get that some good references. Another thing they said is just like use like movies and stuff. Just like just pause it at certain parts of movies and use that as reference. Yeah. It's not a bad idea, especially if you're wanting a specific shot. Which just so happens to already have reference in something else. Not all this. Just gotta thank you. Oops. Yes. I wouldn't say this is the most enthralling part to watch of drawing, but yeah. Summer. Hey, plenty of people have probably done that. Hi. Pop up jinxes. Yeah, get rid of this for now. We'll add it back in a bit. This is a typical case of I've added too much detail in an area before I needed to. Yeah. Manta style is legit. As is the crane, crouching tiger. Yeah. And many others. I mean, get rid of you. Don't read any of this. Oops. There we go. I barely do one a week. If I do one a week, I would not dictate how well you're doing by how much you're doing, but by how much practice you're getting in the time that you are doing it. Because opening up critter manual, I want that. But I used to do a sketchbook a month. Yeah, I used to get a sketchbook. I used to try and say, all right, I'm going to fill all 40 pages, whatever it was in this sketchbook I had. Needed to fill all of them out. Suffice to say, by the last day, I was going in the book and I was just getting my pen and I was just going, it's like, okay, that X is now filling up that page. That is the drawing I have done. Yeah. Or just go and draw like just go and just like, okay, I'll draw a sword. I'll go draw a sword, but I'll draw like the worst sword going on. There'll be no effort really put into it. Yeah. I'm like, there you go. I'm drawing a sword. That's all I'd do. So yeah, don't worry about how much you're doing in 2 weeks. And to be fair, I'd say 3 in 2 weeks is pretty good. Because obviously it depends on how fast you are and also what you're doing. So if you're just practicing, yeah, then do that. Just focus on the practicing part of it, not how much am I going to actually make, from sitting down. So just look at this one that I'm doing now. I've been working on this for not 2 weeks. About 5 weeks or something. On and off. That's that. All the other stuff I did was for the The only other art I've done is for the games jam that I did the other week, but that was quite rushed and very scruffy, I think. Yes. And just think about this as well. If you've got someone with traditional art as well, some of them can take like 6 months to do, depending on how big you're making it. Yeah. So, yeah. No. Yes and no is probably more correct. A day wasted, well, it depends on what you're doing. Depends on whether or not you think it's actually a wasted day. But also, it's like, if I've got to have the motivation. If I don't have the motivation, then I'm going to go back into sketchbook mode and just draw something really terrible. In fact, this whole thing, me streaming on Thursdays, is just so then I get even 2 hours a week. Yeah, just to get some drawing in, because otherwise I won't really sit down properly and draw. And it can literally be anything. It can just, like I said, I'm not trying to do everything at once. I'm not, yeah, I'm trying to be fast and trying to get many pieces done. I'm just trying to get one done. Just trying to finish this one. If I make another one after it, then I make another one after it, and then I'll think about that one when I'm doing it. But I'm not thinking about, okay, I've only made one piece in like 2 weeks. Okay, I need to actually sit down and make another one. I'm not selling them. I'm not doing anything really with them. I might post them on DeviantArt or something, but it's yeah, it's just don't worry too much. Yep, that is perfectly fine. Yeah, that's not. That's actually not too bad. Yeah. Because obviously, the main thing that I keep hearing from other artists and stuff, because obviously, is the best thing you can do is finish a piece. It's when you're not finishing something that you've got issues. And I do that all the time, so I've definitely got some issues there. But not also knowing when to give up on a piece, not on art. Never give up. Not necessarily. I wouldn't say that is necessarily an advantage. Nor is it a disadvantage to work in colour. It is a skill set that you are you're building up. Is it not? Yeah. Just like how I do my art is, I'm using colours, but yeah. I've made pieces in 2 hours before, and with colour and sketching and everything. But I won't say they're the greatest pieces in the world, but you know, they're not too bad. So sketching is probably going to be 90% of a piece of art. So, because sketching is essentially just the planning phase. It's like you're figuring out what it is you're doing, where things are going, and all the little details. By the time you're doing your line art, you should really know what's going on in your piece. So like in this one, so I've got this line art here. You can't really see it, it's very faded because that's how I've made it, because it's meant to be sloppy. Because once I've finished this, I'm going to be going over again and then doing my line art. So, because I've got all the details and I've got everything where I want it to be. And so this is essentially also part of my sketching phase. I'm dictating where things are going. So, but it's all again relative. It's like people who've been doing this forever and a day can probably whip some up in 2 hours that, you know, would put Da Vinci to shame. But you know, we can take twice as long, and it's like we whip up something that Da Vinci would want to tear up. Yeah, it's all relative. Let's see, where's that line at? Don't want it. There you go. I do need to put a background colour on because I can't see. There we go. But if you want to try colours, try colours. Yeah. You don't. Yeah. And one thing I'll definitely say though is shading is necessary in both, essentially. Yeah. I'd probably also say it depends on how clear of an idea you've got as well. Colouring can take a bit of time depending on how you're doing it. How I'm doing it is taking forever. But that's also because I'm trying to be very, very neat. We're almost done. Almost, I think. Well, your sketching phase is obviously just looking to see how it's put together and how it's working, and these are all also parts of the sketching phase. Just like one of the ones I've done before in a sketchbook is I've just got some like some coloured pencils, and I'll just get a piece of line art that a sketch that I've drawn, and then I'm like, okay, what colours work, and then I'll draw the same thing or roughly approximate of the same thing, and then I'll just colour it in roughly with a shade of colour, and just trying to get the colours down that I want. So yeah, but there's multiple different processes for drawing and sketching. Because if you think about it, some people don't even do a sketch, some people just go straight into doing colouring. Yeah, that's essentially what most painters or people who use watercolours will do. They won't really some of them will put like a base sketch down in pencil or something, but then immediately they're going to draw over it. Right, I need to bring Shisley back to front because he's in front. Delete everything. Right. Anything I don't need, I can get rid of. Kinda needed that. Where's that line out? Cool. Hey, yeah. Some people are just that good. And actually, I don't think I have seen that one. I may have to have a look at that after this. Well, oops. But yeah. Just goes to show, it's not just about the tools. It's about the knowledge and skill. I missed that bit there. Who knows? So, after faffing about with Isha's face, and I've almost finished with the helmet and the colouring in swarms on it. What? I think that's most everything on here. Zip out and just right. Let's do another layer. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. And the dreaded nose. Well, actually, I've tried to draw this nose like several times, and it's just not working. And just throws the whole thing off. Welcome to another one of my kryptonites. The schnoz. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Let's go back down here a second. When in doubt, draw a triangle. Sure. See, that doesn't seem too bad. It's when you try and add to it that you kind of end up getting a bit weird. Leave it there for now. The mouth's a bit weird as well. It's a colouring issue. Right, let's continue. think pretty much. Got all the main points. What? No, just a hand. Now this is terrible hand, but it's the only ones I got. And I want to finish this sometime. There is such thing as overcorrecting. Know when to let something go. For me, it's the hand and nose. That works. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't think I'm going to get much more of this done anyway. I think I'm pretty much done what I wanted to. Which is get the silhouette done. Just updating Jinx next. Obviously I've now put it behind. So I've got a few patches to sew. I think this can wait for another day. Not actually that many patches. No, I need to sort that out. Hands everywhere I turn. Let's put a bit of skin tone there. Right. So yes. I will have a look. This is the last portion. Let's have a look. Have you got the copies of the reference image you're using as well? To the top. Oh, God of War 3. The only God of War game in the original trilogy that I actually finished. Don't ask me why it's the only one I finished. Don't know. I need this. This. There we go. Right. I'm assuming it is this one for the camera. Kind of did use this image. So let's see if we can expand it somewhat. Oh, we got a better one. There we go, that's better. So, move that one over there. Move this over here. Scale it up slightly. So, let's have a look, sis. Do I have? Have a look at my brushes. This will work. So, let's have a look at Chimera. You've got the overall. shape and gesture to the kind of pose. So I'd say try and pay attention to some of these shapes that form, because obviously this should essentially be a bit longer and it should form kind of a peanut shape, is what I'll call it. It should kind of be this peanut shape here. And obviously you'll know where the next knuckle starts. And you can just do the next claw. I do think your claws are slightly too short as well. But the overall pose of the thing is definitely there. But this again is one that should technically be further in your leg. So it should be filling up this gap. Should be more of an angle as well. But so you're getting, like I say, you're getting most of it. I just think you need to try and find these shapes, as I'll call them, to kind of work on. Just yeah, pay attention a bit to the direction things are going as well. So obviously all this fur's kind of going upwards compared to yours, which you've got it going down. There's a lot more detail as well that you could have added, especially along like these things, because these are quite thin. So you could have went and added more of them. Is what I'd say. So what for you said? I only played the first, going in the order of your comments. I only played the first God of War for a bit, because I actually started with the last one. So I actually started and finished the last one, and then I never actually started 2, and I only played 1 for a bit, but considering I played 3 first, I was kind of a bit, I can't be bothered with this. It's very strange. Yeah, the hands aren't too bad, but I would definitely say try finding the line it all stands on, because once you've got that again, you can find the shapes, because this should actually be a lot shallower. And then you'll find that everything kind of is able to marry up. So, and find the angles as well. So it's like, how does it kind of roll in? So you kind of get this sweeping, and then you can go basic blocks. So I find things like these are very good at being deconstructed a bit easier than, say, the human pose, maybe. So that's not too bad. Yeah, so again, the overall composition of it, yeah, you've kind of got the thing. It's just a few minor observational things as well. Like I say, it's like you've tucked his chin in a bit too far. Should be a bit further. I'm just nitpicking at this point, I'll be honest. No. I would suggest trying to draw lighter with a pen. You should be able to draw very fairly with a pen. And then obviously once you kind of get a line that you like, you can go in a bit heavier. But no. Like I said, overall gist is there. It's like, it's just a few little observational things and how you could improve further observations and get better. I think this claw actually goes a bit further beyond the line, but that's due to slight perspective there. It's coming towards you. But because I think if you went and you tried to do the same one, so if you just got this image and you just did this one like 3 or 4 times instead of trying to do different ones and go different ones and just try and improve it. So obviously one time you can just, if you like, you have a printer and you can just print it off, you know, just black and white. Yeah, and just literally just go through and it's like, okay, where's everything sat? I'll load it into MS Paint. Yeah, and just break it down. Yeah, into blocks. So you got this on here, this on here. Because the way I would try and do this is, again, and I keep saying this, I'd try and find the shapes. So all these kind of negative spaces are kind of what I'm looking for. And if I'm hitting that shape to some degree, I feel like you'd be getting a bit closer with it. So that is how I would, that is what I would say anyway. That's just like, but again, overall, not bad. Nothing terribly wrong with it. again, it's just minor observations, and like I said, bit nitpicking and stuff. It's just improving observations, just trying to get the kind of right shapes, the right flows of your lines. So obviously, yeah, just because it's like you're pretty much getting everything near enough. It's just doing more observations and actually doing them multiple times, maybe, just so then you can increase it. Yeah, don't just draw it once, draw it twice, and then maybe 3 times. Draw it. Don't draw it at all, just draw all these gaps that I keep mentioning, and just put all the gaps in on the page instead. So you're just going to end up with a drawing just full of shapes, and should by the end of it form an outline of your guy. No, nothing. The overall drawing is good. The pose is good. I think you got the pose pretty much down. It's just obviously slight errors in placements, and some more detail that you could have potentially added as well. Feel like you could have gone a bit further with the detail. And I would say as well, because I know you like, I've forgotten what some other guy's artwork, I forgot what it's called now. You mentioned him before. I would potentially say also try to incorporate a bit of their, like, where am I looking now? Oh yeah. So yeah, so when you were showing me these ones here, when I can find where I am. So like when you were showing me stuff like this, I would also try and look at a reference like this. To answer your last question, stuff like this, if you look at how they've done detail, so how they've added it, you could then go and try and apply what they've done, because they don't really go much into the center. Theirs is all around the edges, but obviously they've got this one which is very detailed that you showed me the other time. So again, just try and break this one down. So it's like, if you're adding more detail, pick a direction, because all these have a strict direction until obviously it doesn't go anymore, and everything goes in one direction. So when something starts, it all goes in one direction. You could just, and like I said, you use this, yeah, make thicker scribbles to add more detail. Like I said, these bits over here, when I don't undo the right one, if you have a look, there's a lot more detail you could have added onto this, because obviously it's meant to be the snakes. They're like a lizard snail, so you could have added like the little bits to the side. Yeah, and obviously done far more. I'm not doing this greatly, but yeah, trying to give a quick definition. But again, try and do more of your cross hatching, especially if you notice like these dark areas where there's not a lot of light. Again, going back to shapes, try and look to see the shape of the shadows. So obviously there's got a shadow there. I've actually messed this one up quite a bit now. So you can just go in a bit. Scribbled right all over this one. There we go. You could literally just go in. With your pen. I'm trying to see if I got a pen. Pen. You should be able to get it fair with the pen, but just try and darken bits. And sometimes you might just want to just go full ham and just kind of proper full darken. Obviously, I don't think you get that dark. So just add just your dark bits where where you can see in the image that there is indeed some dark points. Let's put it up one. There we go. So like all these rib cages, add a darker line instead. So there's these shadowy details. It's not true shading, it's just like getting in the dark, the details that are kind of in the shadows. So it's like, so again, you've got like shapes. It's all about shapes. You've got all this, which is technically detail, which you can definitely do with just a pen. So all it is just applying a bit more pressure with your pen and just shading it all in. Not scribbling it in, but trying to get like either a flat one. Obviously, if you look at the, was it this one? I mean, the details here, it actually goes quite dark in like places like this, and you can't really tell that there's any like scratching, cross-hatching or anything, because they've hammered it in. It's like here it is again. It's like there's like just like this little bit here. That's the detail there. They've went through and they've kind of just made the lighter parts the detail and darkened what they don't need. These are like little details that you can add to things like your muscles and like fur, anything that's kind of thingy. So all of these kind of places where there's not really like thingy, all these details that you've added with the lines, just kind of maybe instead of using a line, thicken them up and just apply it as kind of broader kind of thing. Just trying to think, is there anything else? So obviously you're going to be using a bit of reference, so it's not too bad. Yeah. And again, you can do this at any part of this thing, and it'll just add that little bit more detail. And again, if you've got a fine enough pen, you could probably get into like these little nooks here. Let me do this. So you can just like add dark lines, all these bits. Now doing this will take you absolutely forever, but this is going to add a bit of detail. Obviously you're not going to get like the pattern effect like this bit here, but detail like this you can definitely just add with a pen. Oh. Anyway, let's have a look at the next one, shall we? With that one, didn't I? D&D 3E. Let's have a ganders. What's it called again? School. Let's see. This one, if I'm not mistaken. Now, it's again another Diddy image. Oh well. It'll serve what we need, I think. As I can see another copy of it somewhere. It's a bit better. Nah, not really. Well, like I said, it shall do. Right, where is it? Not you. Further down. Yep, there we go. Move you across. You can go up a bit more now. So no, it's fine. Again, I feel like I'm going to say you need to just try and follow the shapes again. It's a case of where you've got the pose down, but obviously some of the placement is slightly out. Like obviously you got the hands over here when he draws. Oh yeah, there we go. It's got like the hands that are over here. But obviously we've got not got that big of a gap. The gap's actually quite small. Got quite a large gap in there, so it's like it could just be a case of just again figuring out kind of the shape. And just going from there. So it's roughly. So obviously that's the shape that we're kind of wanting. So obviously the leg should ideally come down like this a bit more, and the finger, and this would be of the other hand from what I can see. So essentially you've not drawn in the other hand, so but that other hand should have a finger going here, and then another one just underneath it. But again, the overall pose is fine. Yeah. But the overall pose is fine. You forgot to do the other hand. But other than that, again, shapes should really be longer. Further back. You're getting most of it. You've added a lot, ironically you've added a lot of detail here when there's actually not as much detail as you've put in. So you've got like maybe 4 big rocks. Yeah, so which you have put some rocks in, but you've kind of overfilled it, it seems. I'm gonna just put maybe 5th one there, small one behind it, which is there. But this head. See, I think the top of the head's fine. I think it's actually the jaw. Because the jaw kind of meant to come down like this. Yeah. Jaw's not open wide enough. I think just a couple of the angles are off, but yeah. It's just again, nothing completely wrong about it. It's just a case of maybe break it down again. figure out the sections that you need to be following. I feel like there's actually just meant to be a something like this here. It's far too thick, is that? Whereas it just seems as you got over here, just like this one big piece that's joined into the shell. So you just need to no, absolutely not. It is not a deal breaker that not everything is, because art in general is an interpretation. So whilst I'm saying it's like, oh yeah, this isn't exactly like this bit, this bit should be more like this. The reason why yours isn't inherently bad, because obviously I could go on about it. There's not, you can't really see much in this little area, but you've added a lot of detail in that area. It is your artistic flair to add into an art piece what you want to add. So the fact that you have went out and just added all these extra stones in is fine. All these like extra bits are fine. That is an artistic choice that you have obviously went and had whilst drawing this. Yeah, oh no, don't get me wrong, there's a couple of these pebbles. I don't think there's as many, but also I think this should have actually been a bit higher up. I think the head should have been bigger. Looking at this head, I feel like him should have been slightly bigger. But yeah, it's not this detail as well. What I will say, it's this muscle, because essentially he's got like a bit of muscle here by the looks of it, that then joins into this bit over here and slinks down. Into the forearm. So angles and shapes, I think, is more what you need to look into. Just making sure that if you're looking at the obviously this thing should have actually been connected to this. Means your jaw could have really been down here a bit more. I think the top would have lined up a bit better as well. Generally speaking. Then you would have had that bit there, and your arm kind of started there as well. And that would have pretty much automatically stuck this kind of where it needed to be. Yeah. But no. Oh yeah. So it's kind of got this bit here, that bit there. Start looking at the groups. There's a lot of groups. And you can totally do something like this as well, by the way. Just kind of break everything down into like groups. So obviously we'll end up with like some building blocks. True, fair enough. If no one's seen it, I'll live to tell the tale. Yeah, you'd probably end up with more just like this, really. Let's be honest. No one's only ever seen a silhouette. So, never know. But yeah, again, it's similar advice as the last one. It's like you went again and added a bit more detail on this one. But again, you could, if you wanted to, just find these darker spots and just kind of get your pen and just kind of dig into it a bit more. And obviously I'm using a normal thing, not an actual pen like you will be using, but if you just go in and just add some of these dark shapes in, so some of these dark spots where the shadow is, you just make it not as dark as possible, because you don't want it to be too dark, but just kind of add a bit more pressure to it, and then it'll give your drawings a bit more depth. And again, with the shadows as well, it's again just because you're using a reference as well, it's just a case of just looking and finding the shapes, the creases where the shadows will go. So I think that's most of them on here. Obviously you got more on this foot. my hands. Yeah. Black and white. I'll use my pencil on this one. So let's start as get ourselves a nice shiny white piece of paper. Well, my paper is already quite shiny, so all I really need to do is just go in with a decent sized brush. So I've got this circle and I want to make it appear shinier. Depending on the shape, it depends on how you do it, I'd say as well. But a simple way would be something like this. Just kind of use the white of the paper as the shiny bit. So hard to show digitally, I'll be honest with you. So say I've got my sword. I want my sword to look shiny. Well, make sure swords are flat ones, so I can actually use the grey. Like try and get my pen as light as possible, and just make sure I know where I'm wanting to kind of keep it as white as possible. So, like I said, generally keeping edges very white, so not drawing like straight on the edges would also help. So like keeping like the edge of your sword kind of thingy, whereas you'd then try and bring it in with a pen, darken the other bits. Use something like this, where you've kind of got quite a light bit here, so basically you won't draw anything, but then you'll just kind of curve it in, so then you've got more of a so you darken it a bit more. Obviously I can go back and edit this a bit, and obviously you can just still have the other side be really dark, and obviously you do the same with the other side as well. Yeah, if you just had the white, you just obviously do this in the reverse way, but yeah, just kind of leave parts of it white, like the white of your paper. So in your case, because you don't kind of colour everything in, it'll be a case of let's have a look at this. So I've just spotted this image. Ironically, is there a better one of this? No, there's really not. It's a really dizzy piece, but there you go. This is obviously more pencils and stuff, and they have also exaggerated some of this as well. So they've put some other details in that aren't quite in there. But it's... to get that shiny detail, you need to leave things as white as possible on the white paper or whatever paper you're using. Your paper will be the shiny part, and basically you are drawing in the shadows. You will only ever be drawing the shadows, and obviously making things lighter or darker. So literally, you've seen that I've done a bit of shading already on this, but if you went through the entire thing in grey, just quickly sand. So say that you got your pen and you've wanted to turn everything dark and everything, but you wanted to keep some highlights. You just wouldn't draw in certain areas, like you wouldn't do anything in this bit here. If you wanted all this bit to be lighter or shiny, same with this bit. Rocks is generally edges. If you want anything to look kind of shiny, edges. So you want to darken the outside and keep as much as possible. So hopefully this gives you a few hints. Oh, it doesn't need to be all the edges as well if you're kind of doing ones like this. Oh yeah. So that's how you can do shiny rocks anyway. Pick a general direction and keep to it. And obviously this can apply to anything as well. Obviously I've left this like really exposed, but you don't really need to have it all. In that light. So like I said, use minimal. Leaving the most minimal of places without putting light on it. It's going to get you the most results, but again, oh yeah, the shape of the rocks are fine. Obviously, it's like, as you can see, with this, obviously I've just more dictating that you've added more more detail than was inherently already on it. Yeah. So yeah, there you go, as you can see. If you wanted to get it to look a bit glossy, this is one method that I can think of. What hand? Hand isn't bad. I'll tell you that. It's not quite quite the same, but the hand itself isn't actually too bad. I'll put that image. So yeah. Again, it's like I said, it's just a case of following shapes, because obviously that's quite straight. You have made it straight, but then it should have been more of a straight down curl, where you kind of just made it into its own finger. Essentially, the inside is kind of just block a shadow. And that just went in, but yeah. Anywho, not too bad. But yeah, if you did darken the entire thing and then you just took out, or should I say you didn't darken certain areas, then you'd be able to get kind of a shiny bit. But again, this is only one method. I'm not sure if it's quite what you were thinking, but just adding highlights when so much darker kind of generally gives you that. That brighter. Another method you could try and do instead, instead of drawing the actual lines, so basically some people will put like a background box or something, so that'll cover the entire thing. Colouring that instead, so you're not actually drawing any of the lines themselves, and you will just be, when my pen decides to work, Just trying to be fast. So don't draw the actual spikes, kind of draw the silhouettes of where they're meant to be. Obviously you've got like a boxed silhouette, I suppose. Obviously you can extend that all the way. And obviously if you then got your pen, you can just darken certain areas underneath instead. Probably don't want to go full dark though. Like I said, leaving the white outline. So the white would still remain. Somewhat along these lines anyway. That's a mess. Yeah. Like I said, it's like literally adding a box to an image will also help just help solidify the actual overall image, by the way. It's like one of the things that someone's mentioned in some of the videos I've seen myself, where just adding like a box to the back of it just to give it a different layer, so it's not all just white paper. You've got something else that's kind of visually there. Where, and obviously it brings the full image as well to the front, because obviously got something darker right at the back. Don't need to be black, be grey. Yeah. I think you work with pens actually. You could try using coloured pens as well. Yep. I've got another 10 minutes I could stay on, so we'll have a look at these for. I did find a better one. Let's get rid of some of the... Let's get rid of all that. So there was meant to get rid of all that. I think awesome. So not seeing. Let's get them all copy and pasted. And then I'll do a quick fire round. Right, starting with Purple Worm, D&D, it lacks depth. It looks like it's meant to be coiling around, but because you can see, because everything's the same, it's very much a case of you should really be able to differentiate it a bit more. So just adding darker areas. So try darkening things a bit more. Yeah, like the underneath, you know, where shadows may form. Doesn't need to be perfect, but just to give a bit more indication. And again, this doesn't need to be exactly like the Alright, kitty. Cat's gonna try and jump up. There she is. Okay, stop being a menace. So yeah, so for that one, the overall shape and the language of it's fine, but again, I think just adding a bit more depth to it, or trying to darken certain areas a bit more, will probably make it a bit better. Next one is this giant worm. Say maybe a bit of consistency. Yeah, go away. Because I think that should be. Well, maybe not. Let's see. With a nuisance cat. You're in the way. So. Where are these spikes? But again, it's just going to be a case of, I mean, you have darkened this area a bit more than the rest of it. Same with this. But I would say try to go darker. the overall image itself looks fine. I think there needs to be a bit more detail in the mouth because I can't quite tell what's going on with the mouth. I can tell that it's open, and I can tell obviously this is the jaw, but I don't know what this bit is. That seems a bit, because I'm assuming this is probably going to be like the side of a mouth, and that's the inside of it. So even if the image you're referencing doesn't have saliva, okay. So with saliva, I would try and do as little as possible. You can't make saliva dark. So you would be able to do a few lines, but you'd want to miss like a bit of it. Or if you had like a white pen, you'd want to actually make it white. So you probably want to make it a bit more white. To kind of just add a bit of wetness to it, I suppose. Obviously you could just extend that as well. Obviously you can mix that with a bit of a darker. So some thoughts there. Like I said, you can try and just not draw it as dark and then just draw around it and then keep that bit as light as possible. That'd help you with the saliva, I think. Obviously it's really simple for me to do it on here because obviously I can just go and get a white and just draw in white. It's going to be different things, so it's going to be more of a process that you're going to have to kind of figure out how you're going to get through it. But if you are drawing like a liquid, it is more reflective, so you're going to want to kind of do that, and it's going to be darker in the center of it rather than around the sides of it. The only reason it would be darker around the sides of anything is because there is a shadow. So it'd actually be the shadow that you're doing, not the actual thing itself. So anyway, all in all, this one's not too bad. Again, darken. Try and figure out ways to get something to look a bit more clearer, and the way you do that is with your pen pressure. So try and make something a bit lighter in tone or darken it as well. It's a decent drawing. You should be happy with it. Yeah. Again, like I say, these are just suggestions. I'm not saying a drawing's bad or is good. I mean, your observations, because obviously I'm assuming again this is based on something else. Yeah, because you're generally right on what it's based off of. You're very good at kind of getting a general pose right. Obviously it's just about getting the more general things in. Same geezer, is it? Looks very different for being the same geezer. There's. I will say I much prefer this one to this one. There's not a lot going on in this drawing, and I'm obviously, without looking at the reference you were using, can't say much, but again, I'm just going to say, because it's not really much, but it just try and darken things a bit more. I know you're using these lines to make it darker, and they're fine. But I would say just try and get the try and fill up as much as this white space as possible. Yeah, try and get it so that you can not quite not see it, but very close to not being able to see it. Yeah. But an interesting thing you could try and do with these two drawings is invert the poses. So take like this design of it and put it in this pose, or get this one and put it in that pose. And just see how you can kind of figure out how it'd work. Is this the same geezer again? Looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card does this one. Someone's messed with Cyber Dragon. Again, I'm assuming this one's more based on this design from what I can see. So obviously it doesn't have the little pronged feet that the other one had. But I'll say it again, it just needs a bit more just darkening to add a bit more depth to it. Like I said, you can try and lighten the rocks a little. Just darkening them a bit more, leaving a bit of light to them. A bit of white on the side. Obviously it's going to be harder to do it pen and paper. It is not going to be as easy as me going on here and just selecting the colour white and just going, I'm going to put white here. You're not going to have white, unless you get like a white pencil or a white pen and then can colour in white. But your whitest colour is going to be whatever the colour of your paper is going to be. But again, the overall structure of it, it is fine. It's like, can't really see much wrong with it. Not obviously, again, without looking at reference, but adding either a bit more colour to it, or as I've shown in the other one, adding maybe a bit of a backdrop to it instead, will also kind of help it pop a little and stand out. So, and they don't even have to be a rectangle either. I will say that. So, as you can see, even without adding any line art, as it were, shading, if you just add like just something to kind of contrast it with the back of the paper, so that not everything's it's not all the same thing. It can help it. Like I said, you don't even need it to be going quick and dirty, but yeah, you don't even need it to be square. You can have it like a bit more like or oval shape, something. Yeah. But yeah, you even add a second outline to that one as well. But just something to kind of break it away. Obviously, I'd still suggest doing a bit, adding a bit of darkness to it, just so then it's not all the same, but it's see drawing. Yeah. I think that's all it is. So key points. Yeah. Shapes. Yeah. Lines. Angles. Yeah. Yeah. And shadows. The rocks look fine. I think the only thing with the rocks is when you've put like some of this darker shading on the top. Just the orientation of them all. Some of them don't look quite right, and obviously in other places you haven't added any. So, like you've added some to the top here, but in all honesty, I probably would have added it to this side in order to match this one, and this one, and this one. Yeah, that one's fine, it's kind of blocked and all that. This one probably again, I'd have probably done this side instead. And then left that side. Kind of as is. So yeah. So they're generally not too bad. It's just on which side, the orientation of which side you've yeah. Few too many cracks, I'd say, but again, I'd say you'd probably want to thin them out, and try and get them as thin as possible and faint as possible. So you can hardly see some of them. And obviously you can just add, yeah, no, go away, cat. My cat's bugging me again. So yeah, what I was doing now. So yeah, so you kind of want to do cracks as thin as possible. And another thing what I'd say is that if you're doing like a crack, you can actually kind of have like a really big chip taken out of it, and then do like crack as well. Be gone, cat. Honestly, I can't really see much. Obviously, your drawings are quite consistent already. So I think most, but I'm assuming it's just mainly like not tracing but copying other images that you've been doing a lot, which is fine. But I would try and just do some maybe shapes. Just try and draw them in a different way. You're very consistent, which is good. But maybe just try and don't directly just draw it. Just like I said, just break it down. Yeah, just kind of into pieces instead. Yeah, rather than trying to draw the actual thing. And again, keep an eye out for the shapes that you're trying to look out for. Within the drawing as well. And you should hopefully improvements generally tend to be quite slow. And you cannot rush them. But yeah, I'd suggest trying to draw slightly differently. By either not drawing it at all, drawing completely, well, maybe not like this purple worm, but somewhat like the whatchamacallit guy, the terror thing, whatever it was called again. I've already forgotten. Yeah. The Terrask. Yeah. Just try and do like a silhouette. Breaking everything down into shapes. Try and find the hidden shapes within things. It's like just try other methods, and these things will slowly but surely get things moving. Tracing as well. Like literally directly tracing is a good method as well, just to kind of get to know something. Yeah. Diaries. I am far from an art guru, but I appreciate the compliment. And most of the rhetoric I spew on here is regurgitated from others, and I'm still practicing myself. maybe it'll sink into you more than it does me. But yeah. So yeah, it's just so keep trying. Like I say, try and break the habit of just drawing things the exact same way. Do I have any? I mean, you're probably not going to be able to see it very well. Let me just. Where's me? OBS. Yeah, it's right here. Let's switch over to my camera. Oh my god, you can see me. So let's see. I don't need that. No. Let's see any decent things that I can show you structure. So I mean, you don't really do much in terms of drawing people, but just kind of. So this is what I mean, by the way, about me not. The thing is, just try and get like a process of drawing stuff. It's like just kind of. It's like this is. So this is one that I've done. This is taken out of a book that I have, and it's very much just a reminiscent of what's in the book. It's very much plain to see, but here's something else. It's like I've drawn it essentially two different styles right next to each other. That's probably another thing that you might want to try and do. Try and simplify some of these things, make them cartoony, make them really bizarre. Yeah, it's very much just a case of repetition. I don't think I've got much else in it. Yeah, I do not. But yeah. But here's some more. Like I say, it's like just break it down. Especially like this one over here. This is what I mean when you say do like a silhouette. So this is all based off of the same reference image, but I've done it multiple times. I've done it different ways. So obviously, like I said, all the way over here, I've got it just like a silhouette version of it, and then I've tried replicating it here. I mean, certain parts of it I've just kind of zoomed in. I've just kind of tried focusing on one part of it, especially like down here where I've got like I'm trying to focus on the arm. Just stuff like that. Just trying different ways of doing it. Like I say, with your rocks, you could just try and drawing a bunch of rocks and just try and colouring those in. Yeah. It is just a case of finding methods and getting outside comfort zones. There is a lot of people like comfort zones. They're very comfortable. That's why you need to get out of them sometimes. Yeah, I don't think there's much else in this one for reference sake anyway. Not really. I mean, there's me drawing one and then drawing it something else next to it terribly. There you go, more terrible. But Yeah. That is what is it essentially? So when you I don't even socialize in art communities, I'll be honest. Mine, I generally just do art and then just look at videos and just do it. I'm very much a loner in that aspect, I suppose. I'll post some stuff onto Discord, but I don't really interact with anyone. Probably should do. And probably get a bit more feedback, like you are now, because you're interacting with me. But I suppose me doing these streams is kind of me interacting. But onto the other one, which is what do I mean by the exact same way? So basically, you will get the image, you will draw it essentially like it is, and you draw things in a similar fashion. So like, you know how you, so like your rocks, you've got a certain way of how you will draw your rocks. Try different ways, or look at different ways people have drawn rocks and try and copy their rocks. I'm using rocks as an example here because it's very simple, but and you will do details in a certain way. So I would suggest trying to like in some of them don't do it that way. When I say like do it multiple times in slightly different variation. So like on this one, you've got like these little scratches. So you wouldn't add any of these scratches. You wouldn't add any of the scratch marks into the center of this. You won't add any of this detail. And instead, all you do is you do a giant white, a giant mark instead. So let's see if I can just do an example. So really quickly, because I do have to go. So say you didn't fill in any of this with your scratches and anything like that, because that is a method that you generally use to draw your undersides. So instead of doing that, you try and do it a different way. So maybe just try to do like a big block. So you just select. So I get a darkish blue or something, I don't know. I'll do. So you might just get your pen, you might just go like this instead, and just get your pen and just proper go on it and just fill in this one line instead. And you might just do that for some other areas as well. Like you might just do it over here instead. Yeah. Just get a big bit of here and just go, okay, I'll just gonna just do a blob of colour there. So just do like a blocks of similar to how you do the tops and sides of the things, but darker. Try and think of how you're doing something and think of another way to do it, or different way. So you might, instead of scribbling all over, you might just kind of go and scratch all the sides instead. Just like scratching one way, do your cross hatching, do swirls. Yeah, any kind of method, yeah, you can think of. I mean, you can do like weird shapes instead. And why is your OCD kicking in? Yeah. Just darken like each one of these tiles individually. Yeah. And like with the last one potentially just being fully blocked out. Yeah, just like... Well, I mean, I'm drawing over your... drawing all of your drawing. Generally, people don't like drawing over their own drawings. Yeah, just kind of shorthand it. Try and find other people's methods for doing details and apply those to the drawing you've done instead. Yeah, consistency is key. And when I said don't draw, your consistency is the thing, and don't try and do things that you normally do. I mean, just try and consistently do something different in the drawing entirely. So you're still having the consistency in the drawings. It's just that you're using a different method. So like I said, so you can use different hatching methods. You know, you can use like a block coloring method, shading method instead. You could be very thorough and just kind of darken everything nook and cranny. That is kind of meant to be shadow. Yeah, can't really help on that one. Well, here's something. If you don't like a certain detail in something you are drawing, edit it. So it will take you out of that zone. So, like, say you didn't like part of the mouth of this one, you can just don't draw it. And just say, I don't like this bit. We'll get rid of this bit. Yeah, and then I'm going to get my thing. I'm just going to draw it like that. There you go. It's not the same as what they have, but it's not meant to be. Oh yeah. Anyway, I need to go now. I do have work in the morning. So I will see you later, Firewall. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. I don't chat enough on these things sometimes anyway, so keeps it interesting. No problem. Mine's not an issue. But, right. I will see you later.